Hi, day 2. I'm back. And thank you guys that did, it's a nice little breeze. Yes, Lord. Thank you all for joining me yesterday talking about Afropole and just like what it is, etc. And today I want to go into the difference between Build Black and Buy Black. So when I was starting Afropole, the obvious direction for a organization that's like, trying to connect Black businesses would have been to really galvanize behind the Buy Black movement. But I feel like the economist, the sociologist in me, it was hard. Because the thing about Buy Black is, one, you're buying. So it puts the onus on the people who are already either disenfranchised, who are, hyper consumers already. It puts the onus on them to reinvest money in themselves in a way that's like maybe not, let's say, the normal. Because we're not necessarily, a big part of the Buy Black was not necessarily replace things that you already have with things that are Black, but just like try and consume more Black things. But then even if we said, okay, replace the things that you normally buy on Amazon with something that's from a Black-owned business, the problem with that is that still, because of economies of scale that Amazon has as a really large organization, it taxes Black people, sometimes those who are socioeconomically disenfranchised, with paying more for a movement. That is like, paying a higher price, having to maybe not buy in bulk because it's not Sam's Club, so you're buying at a retail continually, etc. And it just overtaxes a set of people who have already been taxed by society. So my thing was like, do I want to further participate in that? And here's the thing, yes, Buy Black. Because Buy Black is, essentially buy small, buy local, you get what I'm saying? Like, buy handmade, buy closer to the earth. It's healthier in a way, but at the same time, the pressure of Buy Black, which is like, if you don't buy Black, you're not supporting your own community, you're not investing in us, you're making Jeff Bezos richer, all these other things, is kind of criminalizing people for taking their financial future into their own hands and maximizing what benefits their individual or family need, right? If I have a family of 8, because on average, African and Afro-diasporan families are larger. If I have a family of, let's say, 8, and I need to buy toilet tissue for the household, and your toilet tissue, because you cannot buy in bulk the way other people can, you don't have the deals with like toilet tissue makers the way other people might, it's going to cost me on an average $20, $30 more, which in a year is like, $250, $350 more. I mean, it's a no-brainer. That $350, that's like a monthly, or not in a house of 8, but that is grocery money, right? Like that's other thing money. So my relationship with Buy Black is, to me, it's prioritize Black, 100%. Right? Prioritize Black where possible and when possible. And I love every Buy Black movement. I love that, one, it's giving us way more data about who are making our products. It's making us really more thoughtful about that. And actually, one Instagram page that I follow that I don't think it's Black owned, but I like the ethos of it, is shop.thoughtful on Instagram, because it really is it's pushing the entire concept of be more thoughtful about where you're investing your money, because you're going to be spending money anyway, right? And so yes, prioritize Blackness where it does not, cause you or endanger you or your family or your financial success. But Build Black says that I recognize that there are other resources available to me that I can invest in my community and in our community's progress outside of just the way that I spend my money. And I think Build Black, for me, is a movement that seeks to look outside of us as consumers, but see us as creators, as contributors, as Masons. Like, if you think about what a builder does, right? A builder is not consuming. A builder is making an asset. A builder is creating something in the world that, God willing, will be there for generations, that can house people, that can help people with certain type of problems that they might have. That it can be a bridge. Maybe you're building a bridge, maybe you're building a building. Maybe it's a monument, right? As long as you're not building a wall, quite frankly, unless that wall is to keep out certain people. But, you know, like, not like Trump's wall, but like, you get what I'm saying? Like, to keep out certain types of negative influences that have come into our spaces previously and stolen things. Colonizers. Unless, yeah, as long as you're not building a wall, like, building to me is that effort that says, bring your mind. You get what I'm saying? Like, bring your network. Bring, you know, your ideas, bring your body, like your whole self, bring your assets. So, you know, farmers, bring your farmable goods, the things that you bought. Just like bring the things so that we can build, as opposed to just being a consumer. I just don't like the idea of censoring our growth and our prosperity in our consumerism. I just find that very strange. So for me, that's the difference between buy black and build black. And the controversy around the buy black is when a company, let's say like Shea Moisture or Carol's Daughter or any such company, grows into a place and then is sold to, let's say, a non-white, you know, funder or whatever, conglomerate. What happens then? So we were buying black. Now the people who, like the main people who own it now are not black. So what do we do? Do we say, okay, well, I was using Carol's Daughter when it was black owned, I was buying, but now there's no black owned, I can't buy? Because then that creates a negative incentive. If I have a business, the point of my business is to grow it. And someone might say, okay, well, if you grow it, that doesn't mean you have to sell it. But if I can flip a business to create a better asset for myself and my community, why wouldn't I do that? And this is where like capitalism and, you know, all of the isms get very tricky, and why Pan-African, like all of the isms, you know, reach a point where it's like question marks. Because when you start to test the thought process, like if you take it to its like to the complete end of the thought process, you know, are you helping or hurting people? And another thing too that I was asking with the Build Black, am I just buying black faces, right? Is your product essentially helping the Chinese economy, but you're the face of, you know, the uplift of that Chinese economy? Again, no problem, because you feel me, the Chinese economy is going to eat irregardless, you know, with or without you. You feel me? Like the Chinese economy is going to be great, but the question really is that a depth of investment I'm making if I buy black on basically a black face Chinese company with, you know, made in China goods, whatever? For me, it's like value change. This is why I talk about building, because from, you know, being in Ghana, I find it very wonderful that increasingly there is a movement to buy Ghanaian. And you know, you're gonna start seeing more of this, because like I said, you know, I'm really pushing myself here. But like every Friday, because I live in the boonies now, shout out to my boonie livers. But every Friday I go into the city. Oh my God, I sound like, anyway. I go into the city and I go to the Made in Ghana store, because I just love the store. First of all, shout out to all the Made in Ghana shops, that the OGs, you know, El Loco, Shop Accra, but Made in Ghana is a grocery store specifically. So, you know, I do my rounds, you know, do what I have to do, but I like going to Made in Ghana because it's grocery, it's edibles, and I shop more for groceries, and also because I've been told that I need to stop shopping for things that are not food. So that's where I've redirected my energy currently. But anyway, it's so interesting. You go into those shops and, you know, I'm looking at the product and I'm like, I can almost give a rating to some of these products. Like this product, for example, like I talk a lot about the Asana that I drink. The Asana, I know the corn, the sugar, pretty much everything that is in the Asana is here. The mint, everything is in Ghana. A farmer, 8. A manufacturer, 8. A wholesaler or processor, 8. A retailer, 8. And every single person in that value chain is black. And the country that benefits is Ghana. Period. Now the packaging, I know for a fact isn't Ghanaian, but it's okay, right? It's not a pure value. Like let's say it's not a pure value chain, but there's more value that accrues to a set of black people in that chain than would, you know, me buying, let's say, Calipo or, you know, whatever. Although I think Calipo is made in Ghana, but it's just not owned by black Ghanaians. Anyway, I don't know the history of Calipo, so don't quote me on that. But my point is, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, here is a situation where it's just a very clear line. Similarly, you know, for the Atadre milk, or not the Atadre milk, the Brony and Kate milk, like the almond milk. tree is out here on these streets. You know, the person plucking it is definitely black, you know, like, and I get that it's easier to do that here in an African country. So what would that look like, let's say, in America, where obviously it's a lot more, let's say, convoluted. And so that's why I say that building black is global, because what that could look like is how we connect all of these base instruments to a black facing, or a American black, or black British, or black French, or, you know, black Caribbean, or whomever business, so that it's like, maybe we do the processing here, but you guys have the capacity there. There are black owned labeling companies in the US. There are black owned plastics companies that make plastics that are more sophisticated than the ones that are made here in Ghana in the US. Like, you feel me? Like, everyone gain comparative advantage. So you feel me? Like, take some from here, take some from there, take some from here, and build like a value chain where everything that accrues to black people. So that if any company in this chain is sold to anyone, it doesn't necessarily, and though it could, again, if you take it to its logical end, if every single company was acquired, it could accrue to someone else. But that initial investment and the wealth that is created over the course of that value chain, even if everything is sold off, ideally, the next set of investments might, again, recreate a bigger and better black built value chain. So for me, like, when we talk about buy black, when we talk about build black, shop black, you know, give black, whatever it looks like, as long as black people are not, as long as that we're not being, how do you say, you know, when you taken advantage of, let's say, in a space where we're already very financially vulnerable. If the thing that we're doing is building assets in the community by us giving of our best to each other, then I'm here for it. And that's what Build Black is. Build Black simply says the way that we center our blackness is in what we're building and what we're giving, and not what we're buying and how we're falling more into consumer debt, or, you know, creating, you know, more waste in the earth, quite frankly, and other sort of like problems. So yeah, you know, prioritize black when you buy, but build black always and globally, because the future is global. Like, no man can be an island at this point. If you want to do it and do it well, you're going to engage other countries. And why not engage countries that for whom their benefit benefits you? Something that the Nkrumah said, you know, first, and our current president reiterated, is that the reason why Africa's progress matters for black people around the world is that the face of blackness is, quite frankly, the continent. When people think about, you know, who black people are, where black people originated, let's say, then they're going to think of the African continent. And so when they look at the plight of black people around the world, what is the origin point of that plight? What is the origin point of that plight? It's here. And so if we don't get it together, and blackness and black Africanness is always associated with poverty, is always associated with, you know, inferior products. Not to say that that's true, by the way, I don't subscribe to that, but it's associated, right? I mean, with that in people's minds. Is associated with like downtroddenness, is associated with all these like negative things. If we don't get it together, even if everyone else does, it'll still be like, well, what are y'all doing over here? Like, what is going on? So Africa getting it together for the sake of like everywhere, to me, is like the beginning of the Build Black movement. It's just like plugging into Africa progressing, sub-Saharan Africa progressing, and that having implications for how black people are seen around the world, how black people evolve, how black people grow, etc. So yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on Buy Black, Build Black. I'll probably go into this more in other videos when I talk about other types of brands and how they've grown, but I'd love to hear from you. So let me know. Let me know.